How's it going, everybody? My name is Hyden, and welcome to my corner of the internet. Today's going to be a good tutorial, and it's going to be on how to make a car similar to this taxi right here. The project files are going to be free over on Sellfy. These cars are going to be for sale over on Sellfy if you want to get the full pack. Now, let's just jump right on in. So I got myself a blank little space here, and I'm going to do Shift A, Add Mesh, Cube. Beautiful. Cubes are typically 2 by 2 by 2. So what I can do now is take all three of these, then we can do Alt-E, extrude individual faces, and then press 2. Alright, so that way it made even cubes all the way around, except for the bottom part because we don't want to extrude that. We would like that to be flat. Good. Next what we're going to want to do, I guess we should add our mirror modifier, right? So we'll add a loop cut here. Then we're going to take all these beautiful faces, and we're just going to X the vertices. So you guys have ever seen any of my tutorials, I love my mirror modifiers. Boom. Makes it so you only have to work with half the model. Saves time. Now let's start getting the shape down a little bit better. So we're going to use the B tool to select the verts over here. And we're going to pull this out. And then again, B tool, pull it out. If yours wasn't selecting these vertices, it's simply because you haven't toggled the visible option. So either you can hide or you can see through the object. So we obviously would like to see through it. Then we'll go to the front. We'll get it to a decent size. We're going to give it another loop. Then we'll take these verts and pull them down just a bit. Give it a nice little bend. Sure, why not? Okay, now we're going to want to make the windows, which can be a little bit of a pain in the butt. So we're going to actually do this an easier way. First, we're going to apply our mirror modifier. Okay, so now we got these four beautiful looking faces. Then we're going to inset a face. We'll put it to nothing for now, and we're going to just type in, let's try, it might be a little bit too small. Yeah, we'll do that. So I put in 0.08 for the thickness. Now, I'm going to add another loop right here. Good. Next thing, face here, eye, and don't move your mouse at all. Oh, my mouse moved. That's the struggle here. I have a really crappy mouse. It always moves. Boom. Gotta be real quick with it, I guess. Eye. And then we'll do the back side as well. Eye. Good. Then we'll go back to top view. We'll go to vertex select, and we'll take this half, delete it, add our mirror modifier back to our object. That way it's done the front piece. So here's the next step. Let's take all these verts, I guess we can just do face select if we'd want, and then we're going to once again press I, but this time we're going to give it a depth, and it's going to need to be a negative depth. So let's do negative 0.05. Okay, looking good. I noticed that we're getting a little bit of doubling up going on right here, so we're going to have to delete this, which isn't too hard. We'll just click this vert, X, edges. Good. Now, let's go back to face select, and we're going to once again press I and click right away, I right away, take both of these, I right away, and then we need to once again delete this edge. Okay, so now we got windows for our car. Looks nice and fantastical and detailed, but now we obviously need tires. So let's click randomly, arbitrarily over here, and we're going to add a cylinder. Now, this really depends on your preferences for low poly. I will choose, let's see, 12. That might be too many. Let's go. I'm going to go with 12. You guys don't have to. You can choose 8. You can choose 9. You can choose a random amount. Doesn't matter. I then went to the front view, and now I'm going to rotate by 90 by pressing R and then 90. And this is where our tire is going to be. So let's size this bad boy down, and we'll lower it. I'm noticing immediately that our car is too thick. So what I'm going to actually do is pull this part up. Get a nice shape going. Alright, good. Now, let's delete this back loop. So what I did was Shift Alt and then right click. And you right click the edge here and it does all the verts. We'll delete those vertices. Then we press L to select this individual shape. One go in front view, and we're going to line this bad boy up. Then we'll go along this whole top part, size it up on the X to be 0. That way they're perfectly in line with each other. Alright, now let's go here, X this face. Easy enough. We're going to also need to go and X these faces as well. So let's just do that now before we forget. Okay. So now we're going to take these two verts and press the F button, and these two verts, press the F button. Right on, right on. I notice immediately that these are too high, so I'll do the same thing I did before. Take this bottom line, now we'll size it up on the Z, and press 0. Perfect. Now we're going to take these 4 verts, fill them. We could even add a loop cut here. It would make it a little bit easier for us. So let's do that. We'll add a loop here. We'll have a triangle here. Loop here. Triangle here. And loop here. Alright. Now let's delete these vertices. And there you go. We've got our first beautiful looking bend. So, since the car we're going to be making, for the most part, to actually be mirrored front to back, what we could do is take all these vertices and delete them, and then just add a mirror modifier on the Y. So now we only have to work with the one section of the car, and it's going to do all 4. Eventually we're going to need to apply the mirror modifier, and that way we can make the front look different from the back, but let's just continue off with what we've done. Okay, the next step is just to take these vertices, go to front view, extrude them to roughly where this point is, and then extrude them again. Doesn't matter if you pass it, past the, I guess, center point. We're going to turn clipping on and then just pull it back so it automatically snaps and it stays attached. Good. Now let's just press or right click these 2 vertices with shift, press F, F again, and then F a 3rd time, and do the same thing to this side. And there we go. We've got where our tire is going to attach to. We've also made a giant hole underneath, which I do believe is not how I did these. Yep, I made these come down. No big though, no big. Let's go back. Alright, so our car's looking pretty snazzy, and it's looking pretty snazzy pretty quick. The next thing is going to be to add our tire. So, we could take these verts and duplicate them and then rotate it and add them together, and that's kind of a pain in the butt. So let's just add a whole new cylinder. We'll also make this one 12. We'll rotate it 90 on the Y. There we go. Front view, size it down, put it into place. Alright. So let's just size it up and not worry about the length of it right now. We're going to have the tire go about to there. Alright. Then we'll take these back parts, pull them, and we can put it in like that if we'd want. Doesn't really matter where we put these tires. Next thing is going to be to add some detail to the front. So let's, once again, if you Alt-Shift click the edge, it will click the whole loop, and since this loop is the face, it clicks the face for us. We'll extrude this, size it down, extrude, maybe pull it back a bit, and then give it some sort of like hubcap-y feel to it, right? Something like that. I also, once again, don't think this side made these tires. Oh, I guess it is. Look at that. Interesting. That's similar to how it made these tires. Okay. Let's go back here. I actually almost like that other effect more, so we're going to do that. I'm going to take these 2 verts, Alt-M at last, and then we can just do, whoops, Alt-M at last. I don't know what I keep pressing here. Alt-M at last. Gonna do this all the way around. This is completely a preference thing, but I'm going to take the time to do this. It also helps out on our vert counts because we're cutting the amount in half on this section of the tire. It only really saves us 12 verts, but 12 on this one, 12 on this one, 12 on this one, 12 on this one adds up. Now I can already tell that we might have actually given this wheel too much detail. As you can see, it's kind of bumpy. These ones don't have that bumpiness to them. So we're going to actually do that. Now, what I'm getting at here is the fact that sometimes with low poly, you might actually just add too many loops. And then it gets to this point where it's like almost low poly, but it's also almost not low poly. So we're going to re-add, and we're going to actually choose 8. Give us a nice low poly tire. Rotate this on the Y. Size this bad boy right down. Size it up. Make it fit in here. Go to the front view. Pull this in. Pull this back. Give ourselves a nicely sized tire, which I think is better. Alright, then we'll take this here, extrude. You know what, we'll extrude it back again, sure, why not? Size this down, extrude it up. Keep it nice and simple with the tires, like so. Now for the other side, we need to make it sort of like an axle piece. So we'll just extrude, size it down, and then extrude all the way across. Then at the end, X out the face. Perfect. So our tire is kind of floating. I can see this being a bit of a problem, so we're going to fix that. Let's delete these verts, like so. And then we're going to go here. Actually, what we could do is simple. Extrude this down to here. Extrude it down again to here. And then extrude down one last time to there. Good. Then we can fill this. Fill here. If you guys are having trouble seeing what I'm doing, you can always take your object, press H to hide it for the time being. You fill there. Fill. Fill. Right? Then we can just take this last vertice. I extruded it, and I'm grabbing it along the x-axis. Have it in this corner. Fill. And fill. Boom. I guess our axle's a little bit too low. I actually kind of like that. It looks like it's attached, but it's sticking. Yeah, I like that. That's kind of cool. Accidents. Alright, so I'm going to do a little bit of tweaking before I continue with this. And that's going to be simply just making our car a little bit wider. Alright. Then I'm going to pull this up a bit. Sure, why not? Give it a shape sort of like that. Doesn't really matter. Okay. Now we need to add some little floating doohickeys for doors and mirrors. So this is where we're going to actually apply our mirror modifier. But we only needed the mirror to be on this side, so we'll still delete this half for now. And give this another mirror. Whoops. Mirror. Good. Okay, so now let's give ourselves our little doors. A problem. We're going to have to Control Z. You guys might not have to, but this was a mistake on my part. The mirror here, these are actually overlapping. So if you notice, if I were to take these verts, pull them away ever so slightly, you can see for that one slight second these did move. So now I can apply my mirror modifier, and this only has one vert instead of the two. Delete vertices, add mirror, and we're good to go. So let's give it our little doors, which are just going to be simple cubes to start off with. Size it down, put it roughly in the right place. Then we will extrude this end, and then just pull this part back a bit. Alright, just a little bit of detail. Doesn't need to be too fancy. Do the same over here, and voila. Maybe the next thing we can also do is make it so the car is longer in the front than it is in the back. And pull this piece in. Right? Maybe leave that piece out actually. That way you can sort of start telling which way is the front of the car. Now we're going to take the same doohickey, Shift D, pull it over, pull it up, rotate it on the Z by 90 negative. Pull it over. Alright, press 1. This right now is just floating, but that's going to be our side mirrors, right? So we'll take these 4 verts, extrude, size it down, extrude. We could rotate this. We could just pull this directly in if we wanted. We'll just do that. There we go. Okay. So now we're starting to get some nice details going around our car. What I might even want to add here is give this a loop, put it along here, give it a bumper going all the way around, but I'm not going to bother. Let's go to the front view and give it a little bit of a grid. So let's give it a cube, size it down. We're going to have to turn clipping on for this. Good. Keep sizing it down. X out this face, select it all again. We can pull this out to about there, give it a loop, extrude this down, extrude. Alright, then we'll go to face select, just take these smaller parts, pull those all the way to the edges here, X out those faces. And we got ourselves a front little grill piece similar to these. As you can see, these I actually made thicker and then that part thin, which might be a smart thing to do, but you can always do that. Let's do that right now. Let's just grab these two, size them on the Y, and I'll move this one up. I'll move this one down. Something like that. It's also a little bit too wide probably because we still need to put in our lights. Alright, lights are pretty simple. We're going to add another cube. Again, always with cubes. Size it down. We'll extrude it once. Or instead, we can give it a loop. Loop would probably be smarter for this situation. So select the whole cube. A quick way to do it is L. Size this on the Y. Alright. Pull this up. Pull this over into a random direction. Doesn't matter too much. Shift right click all the front vertices, extrude, size it down, extrude. So that's our front light piece. Alright. Pull this up. Give ourselves also a little blinker by doing the same effect, but we can use a circle. With the circle, we'll put this down to maybe even 6. Rotate it 90 on the X. Size it down. Fill. Let's pull this back in a bit. Extrude. Extrude, size it down. Extrude. So that's like where our blinker would be, right? Then let's just take these. Shift D. Now putting these to be the exact same spot might be a little bit tricky. So here's what we're going to do. Let's select, actually just Shift S, cursor to center. Then we'll press L to select these two separate objects. Then let's press the period. That'll move it so our rotation point for the time being will be where our cursor is. So Shift D, size it, and we'll choose the axis of Y, and we'll do -1. And then if we do that though, we have to do Control N to flip the normals back. Alright, comma to move back to our normal pivot points. And there we go. So the one thing you can add now is like a little license plate or whatever you'd want for the decal. But for the most part, we're actually done our car. I'm going to go on and texture it real quick. I already have my own texture maps in here. UV image editor. I'll load, let's make it a blue car maybe. Do I want to do blue? Maybe I can make it a pink car. Let's make it a pink car. No, pink would look just like it's incomplete. We'll do blue. If you guys haven't seen my tutorial on how I do my texture maps, feel free to click the link here. But it's very simple. I'm also going to set it up right here. So I'll choose the blue texture. It's already set up, so we can just tab in, unwrap everything, Smart V project, size it all down, move it to blue. Then I'll take my tires, L, make those black for now. Take these doohickeys, make all these doohickeys black for now. Alright. Face select. I guess we can just make these windows also black for now. Right? Make it a dark car. What did I choose for these? Oh, I chose a blue, eh? I guess I'll make them these blue then. Alright. Yeah, that looks decent. What else have we done here? We got lights. We added some nice little pinstripe kind of effect, so let's do that. So we can just take all these. I'm holding shift and right clicking. And we'll leave those to be blue. Right on. Take this part here. I guess I made this like the tan color. That was a weird choice on my part, but hey, whatever. Shift right clicking still. Now if you ever notice that your rotation gets all messed up, what you can do is press period on the numpad, and then it'll zoom into what you've selected, and it's also going to fix your rotations. Now let's take all these, make this orange. Right? I instantly notice that these lights are extruded too far, so I'm also just want to pull these in for myself. Pull these in. Pull these bad boys in. Pull these in. Alright. Get all this selected. Face select. Make it tan. Make it orange. And there you have it. A beautiful, low poly car, Toon style. You can start adding any more details that you want. You can start twisting it, start pulling it, really make them bizarre. You can enable proportional editing. Say, take this. I probably need to apply my mirror before I do that. Oh, I just applied the mirror to the wrong object. That's interesting. Didn't even know that'd be possible. But you can do this, pull it out, maybe size it up. You can really start making them weird. Okay, that's just bizarre. Don't do that. But you can really start making some weird looking shapes with it, right? But yeah, I'll have my mirror back on. And I know I have the slight rotation. I'd really prefer if that wasn't there, but I can't seem to undo it. Oh, there we go. I had to go back even farther, that's all. So I hope you guys enjoyed my tutorial. Dragged on a little bit at the end there because I wanted to texture it. But I guess if you guys haven't seen my text tutorial, that was kind of like a quick how-to. So thank you guys so much for watching. Tell me what you want to see in next tutorials in the comments below. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. As always, I've been me, you've been you. Don't forget to subscribe. Take care, everybody.